Good morning, folks. I wanted to get this video recorded, even though I more than likely won't get it posted until I get out of work this afternoon. Because there is a fantastic article out there today about how Project B should not and must not become the future of women's basketball. And there's a good reason for this, okay? Project B is offering $2 to $3 million salaries. So clearly, the women who are going there are chasing the money. All right. And the problem with all of that is this whole league is shrouded in secrecy. Okay. We know who of the investors are. Candace Parker is one of them. Okay. And there are three or four others, and you'll see it in the article because I'm going to put this article in the description of the video. But the bold statement about raising $5 billion is not a very transparent operation, okay? And there have been legitimate projects that haven't been able to raise $5 billion. So I personally question how this league will proceed and survive and just what it will offer the female athletes involved here. Now, we do know one thing. It has been linked to a entertainment group called SELA, SELA. And let me tell you a little bit about SELA, okay? SELA has been funded by the Public Investment Fund, which is a sovereign wealth fund established by the Saudi royal family. And it's estimated to be worth $900 billion. So they can deny that they're associated with the Saudi government, but if they're involved with SELA, they're involved with the Saudi government. And let's face it, the Saudi government has a horrible human rights record where women are concerned. And they actually have a horrible human rights record across the board. These are the people who killed and dismembered Jamal Khashoggi, a reporter. All right. And the recent article in The Guardian, which, by the way, I've made a video on this before, and I posted the Guardian article, alleges that the Saudis have been investing in women's sports across the board as a way of sane washing and whitewashing their true human rights records. I have to tell you that I am extremely disappointed that women would participate in this endeavor. It shows the power of money and the fact that when the power of money is flashed in front of them, all kinds of integrity disappears. So I tell you this in all seriousness. If this becomes the future of women's basketball, you will not see Caitlyn Clark playing again because I do not believe that Caitlyn Clark will take part in this, regardless if this becomes the face of women's basketball. And there are other players who won't as well. And that would be a shame, quite frankly. Now, the WNBA isn't perfect. We know that. You know what? But neither is the NBA. Neither is the MLB. Neither is the National Football League, which knows that their sport is causing CRT, extreme brain damage in their players, and refuses to acknowledge it. And they actually refuse to pay these people money to help for their care after their careers are over. Essentially fielding modern day gladiators for man's entertainment. So there are no perfect entities on the planet. But let's face it, the WNBA has made incredible strides over the past 5 years, and it was supercharged when Caitlyn Clark came out of college and became a clear and defined #1 draft pick in 2024. And the best of her career is ahead of her. All right. We have enough basketball leagues here in the United States. Okay. We have Athletes Unlimited, we have Unrivaled, and we have the WNBA. Project B smells like fish to me. Old fish, rotten fish. And I personally don't really care what TV rights they have. I will not support Project B in any sense of the word, no matter who joins it. Now, according to them, their November to April schedule doesn't interfere with the WNBA. But let me tell you something. Part of the new CBA negotiation is that the season will start in April and will end in November. So um, that may not be entirely true at this point. All right. We expanded the number of games this year. The playoffs went into October this year. The possibility that the playoffs go into November next year is very real. We have expansion teams. We have more expansion teams coming in the future. They're already set up. The women finally in the WNBA have some leverage to make some extreme changes and improve their fate and improve their lot. The WNBA is finally, uh, installing teams, and teams are finally coming around. We have world-class facilities now being built that are focused on women's needs, most notably the Indiana Fever, who will have their facility ready for the 2027 season. They've already broken ground on it. And they make leaps and bound jumps year upon year. Their new TV rights is huge, and it will continue. But those rights will only continue as long as Caitlyn Clark is a big part of what is shown. Their TV rights were based on putting Caitlyn Clark on the screen more than any other player. And I have posted that article as well in the past. So let me just say in closing that I would prefer to work within the structure of the WNBA to improve the WNBA. And, all you people worried about the referee situation, well, guess what? I've said this before. The coaches have weighed in. The players have weighed in. The fans need to weigh in. I've had a petition out there for almost 6 months that I can't get up ahead of steam on. You can contact the WNBA. You just need to look it up in Google. It's there. There are emails that you can send to the WNBA pushing them on this. This is how change is made. It has never been made any other way. The paying public are the people who need to be heard from. We do have some responsibility, just as we do in creating, informing, and making sure our own government works for us. It has never been any different. Now, a couple of other things I want to address before I close out this video. With this Team USA video I posted last night, people saying, how can Caitlyn Clark take the court with those hateful women? Let's get one thing straight here. Women's sports are no different than men's sports. When two teams take the field, they're not buddies. They're opponents, and they're competing at the highest levels that they can to win games, okay? To win divisions and to make the playoffs and then to go on and win a championship. They're not out there to be friendly and loving and have a Caitlyn Clark fan club. And Caitlyn Clark plays tough defense too. It has never been any different. We talk about the women being thugs, but we don't talk about men being thugs. You know why? Because historically, women aren't supposed to be competitive or fiery and physical. And Caitlyn Clark herself has stated that she thinks that's absolutely ridiculous. Women are very much that when they are competing. So all of you Caitlyn Clark fans out there who think we need to put her in a bubble should just get on with your lives and enjoy watching her play basketball. All right? Get on with your lives. She's not worried about it. You're worried about it. She has lived her whole life to compete at this level. She played with boys most of her childhood. And when she went home to her mother and cried about being pushed around and not winning, her mother said, well, if you're going to play with the boys, you need to learn how to deal with it. It's not any different now that she's in the WNBA. She herself was asked, what's the big difference between college and the WNBA? And she said, the level of skill and the physicality. 0.9% of college athletes make it to the pros. Caitlyn Clark made it to the pros. She knows what she's doing. This is where she wants to be. She doesn't want to be in Project B. She wants to play in the WNBA. It has been her dream. Maya Moore is her idol. All of those women who paid the price with overt and rampant sexism and racism paid the price so that Caitlyn Clark can be there. And now she wants to improve the WNBA for the kids that come after her. Now she's a pro. And it is the responsibility of people in the WNBA to push the league forward. And she knows that, and she has openly stated that. So let's get off this Caitlyn Clark in a bubble thing, okay? Yeah, I know. We're all invested in Caitlyn Clark. I'm as invested as you guys are. I run a video channel. I now have a Facebook page. I spend a considerable amount of time on this. So I'm as invested as you. But I believe that Caitlyn Clark is smart enough to run her own life and her own career, and I think she's proven it from day one. So let's just let it be, because Caitlyn Clark doesn't view the women of the WNBA the way you view the women of the WNBA. She respects the women of the WNBA, but that doesn't mean that she is buddies with them when she takes the court. That's not the way sports works. It has never worked that way in the men's games, and it doesn't work that way in the women's games. Competition is competition. Winning is winning. That is what they are paid to do. So, gang, I'm leaving this here. I will put this up as soon as I can, and I will talk to you later tonight. All right? I promise, because I've got a turkey day coming up tomorrow, and I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. But I will be back tonight with a video, and I will have highlights. So I'll talk to you guys later.